Hi, this is Amy Elias, and I'd like to speak to you a little bit about how we can be ending the year of 2021 on the cusp of 2022. So we want to begin to realize that that was then and this is now. And that which helps us fall also helps us rise. So many of us have had, if you're human and you're part of the human race, you have definitely experienced things that make you feel good and things that made you feel bad, things that were difficult, things that were easy, things where you were able to roll through and flow through easily, both in your brain, in your mind, your heart, and your breath. But as we live life, we can ride these energies that um, they awake us. They make us awaken to how we've been, and we learn from contrast what it is we want to continue to take along with us into the new year, or what we can actually leave behind and reestablish a new still point. So I like to say having public displays of meditation. Meditation could look very different at different times of our life, different times of the day, different seasons in every which way. So this yoga of finding the spacious still point in the midst of all activity, because it's always present. There's a nexus point where we can actually access and pull ourselves into. And how do we find it? There's no part, I feel, of our life that isn't a doorway to something greater. That there is a great wisdom that in all those speed bumps, that becomes a doorway to open up into something like a big blue ocean. Maybe it's not so open yet, but an openness to see what's potentially there for us to flow into. Maybe it's like a bottleneck, but we eventually can get into that place. So every moment of every day is actually an invitation to this natural state of being awake, having this consciousness that brings us to this present moment. In my contemplation, and I've written it here, is that we are beings who are able to be translucent and be open to that state. It's like frosted glass is opaque, but it lets in the light. And those of us who are engaged in this path of awakening can see that and sense it. There's a transparency, and this light can flow, and we can self-recognize that there is a light within us that perhaps we of our own making has shielded it out, that we have all these little layers on top of, and we want to remove them like onion skins. Layers of the onion open up and reveal, take it off, and then each layer by layer, there we are, and there's our hearts. We want to open into that. So in the yoga that I have been really akin to is really looking philosophically, is looking at life from a direct experience, having your own experience of something that happened in your life, whether it was a loss of something that happened in your life, a loved one who passed, transformed into another place and time, whether it's a loss of a loved one through a breakup, a divorce, a separation, whatever that may be, or a loss of a job, an experience, a house, a home, a location, a family member. So many different ways we can experience loss and disappointment in any given one day. And again, like I said, those are the doorways to open up into consciousness, this awake consciousness. So what I feel is that we're given our mind, body, and our breath. It's a toolbox that we've been given. Everything is in our back pocket. We don't need to go buy it. We don't need to go find it. We already are. We come onto the planet with it. So let's access that breath, and we can play with the breath in lots of ways that can open us up. When we feel a little bit flighty and up in the air and we're not grounded, we can move down and bring our breath and attention into our hips and our thighs, to the floor of the pelvis, to really find that deep grounding pulsation, like the drone of a raga. And it's this spaciousness that we can tap into, yet ground into, this opening into the pelvis, into this bowl, to the thighs that hook into there, is to really root in. Taking that self away, you can even just put your hands on your thighs, palms down, pressing them on your thighs. and finding that place of rootedness. So just the palms sitting on top of your own thighs invites you to feel connected, because all the different parts of your body are like a symphony, they play. So if the head is just going, not connected to the body, it's just a talking head, well, there's a disconnect. We want to bring all the parts of the symphony together. So let's bring our palms onto the thighs. Using whatever's happening in your life through direct experience to be that opening of a doorway to your life. So it seems like a closed door or a closed window or a closed heart. Allow that perhaps to just suspend your doubt and open up into a potential to enter a natural spaciousness that maybe your nervous system can attenuate, can connect to, can be there for. As this consciousness lets in an alternative state of awareness in the mind, the body, in the breath, in the heart, just sit with that. Let this present moment gift you with what is in your life. As people say, this reality, what reality are you living in that can allow that to be the thing that brings you up and help you rise? We rise, even when we fall down. It's always a getting up again. Let whatever loss, whatever things that happen in your life to be the very thing that helps you rise. It's the same thing. Keeping the hands on the thighs, begin to feel the breath down into the pelvis as you breathe it in through your nose, through the back of the throat, through a little pinhole. It sounds like a conch shell. And then exhale in the same pathway through your nose. Pull the belly button all in so that you can really let out that old breath. And shrug your shoulders up towards your ears so the armpits become nice and hollow. Become aware of the spaciousness inside the armpits that allow the ribs to breathe to the sides of the room, to the sky, to the earth, and to front and back. There's a great carving of a hollowness that occurs. And find this peace and awareness in your breath, as you now. Foundational into the pelvis, the rooting down, but the rising up of the armpits, elevating, buoyancy. You can almost hear the sounds of the room in your neighborhood, in your home, in your apartment, wherever you're living. Feel the air in your skin. Maybe you're in your office. Maybe you're working from home remotely. Maybe you're sitting by the beach and hearing the waves. Whatever the sounds you hear, embrace them rather than be averting them. Bring them present, include them. Rolling with the currents of grace, what is happening now. Feel your breath moving. Embrace the air on your skin. We find that through fMRI machines that this natural state of awareness, of consciousness, of conscious awareness, is one of two things that helps grow our telomeres back on the end caps of our DNA, or they are the end caps. So by just sitting in this spaciousness, just taking 5 beautiful full minutes, you get to recalibrate your life. You get to rise. You get to expand. You get to emerge. And from this place of rooted down into the hollows of your pelvis, and the bones of your thigh bones, the armpits hollow and rise. Feel the breath. Then just begin to find the space, this void right in the armpits, this void, this emptiness around you. Just feel that. Notice that the breath is moving in the hollows of your facial structure, of the sinuses and through that back of the throat. It's settling more in and down and around. This awareness grows and expands exponentially with just conscious presence. Let's tap into a more deeper presence. So when you may visualize, see, feel, sense, taste, or touch a thought that perhaps you've repeated over each day of your life for the past 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, month, weeks, forever, just begin to let it be just a label of thought. It's not truth. Don't believe everything that you think. Label it, that's a thought. And bring your breath and your mind's eye back to the hollows of your armpits, creating more space. Using your body as a place to define and refine all of who you are and who you are becoming. Taking that deep breath. If you notice that you're holding or having any sort of tension, just bring a sense of awareness. Soften the tongue, let it sit in the bottom of your mouth, just like a little softness right there, bottom of your jaw. You may want to ask your tongue or your jaw to just release, soften, let it go into this flowing moment of rising up out of what helped us fall. Notice what is arising in your mind, what's subsiding in your heart, and let this dance of rising and subsiding just become a natural part of your breath cycle. Feel the in-breath expand your body, and let your exhale subside any thoughts that were active. Stay with this flow of your breath by keeping a bit of focus on space right here within the armpits. Use your body to anchor you, to be an anchor. And keep part of your attention on the breath's ambient sound, just like the drone of a raga that just sets the pace and brings the beginning of the melody all the way to the end of a raga. A rich soil that can implant whatever intentions, ideas, allowing to let things go. Just bringing yourself back to this moment of subsiding, arising, letting go, releasing, inhaling. Spaciousness, conscious awareness, the dance of all that was, is, and will be. Again, just feel the earth beneath you and feel the lofty qualities of the armpits. As you get into this undercover of your own experience of your body, you get to really taste exactly who you are right now in this new incarnation, this moment, right now. This is where we enter into consciousness, what's unexpected, what we don't know. And it's to know that we don't know. Allowing what we don't know to invite us into that spaciousness. And suspend the doubt and see what comes when we release and let go of any thoughts of those things that helped us fall. Remember that that's the very thing that's going to help us rise. When you're ready, just begin to drop one ear to one side. So drop this ear to the shoulder. You're going to drop the opposite shoulder down. You can just nod your head yes. Inhale, rise up, because we're always rising. Exhale, dropping that other ear down. And Let this allow this to fall away very gently without force, just the power of your own awakened consciousness. Very gently take your hands to your heart, and may you bring goodness and love and light into your world, and may we bless all that is. Have a beautiful 2022. Namaste.